Hey, g'day guys, it is Adam from VideoShowMeHow, and in today's video we are working on the DMAX, working on our 2021 Isuzu DMAX X-Terrain, and having just done a bunch of reliability mods. You can check them out up the top here. Today we are getting stuck into adding some power. Let's get started. Now we do have a mini merch pack to give away from DPChip. All you got to do to get involved is, of course, subscribe to the channel, of course, and let me know in the comments below what are your thoughts on the power chips, if you've had one in your four-wheel drive before, and what's been your experience. Let me know in the comments below. So in researching all the different types of chips and what have you that are out there, I just kept coming back to the fact that DP chips are the best in the business, and there's a few reasons why. For me, it was important that the manufacturer would stand by their product, and the best thing with DP chip is the fact that this thing has a 6-year warranty, which, funnily enough, so does this thing. So that kind of lines up nicely. They have a 60-day money-back guarantee, but probably the best part is that they have a new vehicle engine and driveline warranty. So what that basically means is, if there is some sort of a fault or what have you with the DMAX, which, you know, of course, being the Isuzu, there's not going to be any, touch wood, but if there is, and the dealer goes, you know what, it's because you had a DP chip installed, and they can prove that, DP chip will kick in there and go, okay, well, we'll cover any repairs if it is the chip's actual fault. Those two things combined for me, I think, are pretty cool, and just sort of speaks volumes for DP chip in standing by the quality of their product. Now, Berrima Diesel, being the legends that they are keen to support any of the subscribers to VideoShowMeHow. So keep watching. At the end of the video, there is going to be a bit of a code that if you use that on their website, you're going to get a bit of a discount. So that's pretty awesome. That will be coming up later in the video. And one final thing before we get cracking on the install of this guy is this is going to be sort of a part 2. There's going to be a second part to this video, which I need to do. I need to do some filming, some driving, that sort of thing, so I can bring that part to you, because today's video is going to be all about the installation and some basic detail. And then number 2, version 2 of this, is going to be doing some testing. We're going to be doing some power tests, some towing tests, and also some fuel economy tests with this guy installed, and then back at the factory version as well. So check out up the top here if it's out by the time you're watching this. If it isn't, sit tight, it will be out soon. So what do you get in the box, or the packet in this case? So it is a pretty fully self-contained unit. We have a bunch of zip ties that we're going to need. You then have the wiring harness, and this has all of the factory connectors that you would see on the inside of the car anyway. So they're all ready to roll and the perfect length, all nice and conduited, etc., ready to plug in. We have the brains of the operation, and that is the DPChIPX, and this is the one that is tuned for the Isuzu DMAX. They had one of those, the 2021 model, that was on their dyno, where they custom tuned the tune that is in this chip for that particular car. So you can have confidence that when you get one of these guys, it has a vehicle specific tune that has been on the dyno and has been run in for your actual vehicle. So there's no sort of just an all-in-one sort of cowboy tune on there. These are vehicle specific. Then we have our little harness protector to go on the end if for some reason you want to go back to factory. It's as simple as just disconnecting this guy from this guy. So pretty straightforward kit, has everything you need. The next step is to get cracking on the install. We need to pop the hood. And step 2 is remove the engine cover. Pretty straightforward. Grab on up the top here and just give it a solid pull, and it should come straight off. Basically, these little grommety things are what is holding it on into each of these little studs. So take that off and set it aside. The next step is to locate the injector plugs themselves. It's going to be 4 of them, being a 4-cylinder. They're a dead giveaway. They're these little grey guys here. So you can see there's 1, number 2's hiding through there, 3 and 4 down the end. Now I've laid out just how everything's going to be in the engine bay itself. We can see that we have our DP chip. That is going to be sitting off to the side on top of the fuse box. So just on here where that's going to go, and then it'll come down in here into each of our ports. Now that part of the harness is laid out just like this. So it's a bit of a no-brainer really. You've got your 4 different ports that we're going to be intercepting our injector plug, and we have our factory style harnesses here as well, the factory connectors, which is pretty awesome. We're going to be connecting in one side and then the existing OEM harness in the other. So 1, 2, 3, and number 4, the green and the white is going to be closest to the firewall, so the furthest away from you. And then finally our fused power, pretty straightforward. We've got our positive and our negative. So you want to bundle this up and take it over to your engine bay and just sort of sit it where it's going to go so that you can start working out what's going to go where. So the DP chip itself, this is going to be sitting on the fuse box here. Now, I've got a couple of aftermarket things going on here. We've got our brake controller. You can check out the vids for all this actually up the top there if you're interested. This is for our Red Arc BCDC. This is for the Heyman Reese brake controller. These are just going to be sitting up out of the way because we need this guy to sit in under here, and it's going to live just like that with our plug being able to come in over the top. So this guy here, that's going to be able to plug straight in there and go underneath our intake hose here from the intercooler, and then have each of our different grey injector plugs plugging directly in. So that's the next step, is to just run all of your wiring and route it through where it needs to be. Have your DP chip sitting over here ready to rock and roll, and then the harness running underneath your intake hose up into where your injectors are, so that you get ready to plug each of them in. So there we go, we have everything in place, and you can see that each of our harnesses is perfectly aligned to the individual smaller injector plugs. And that's our next step here, is to remove the factory plug and to plug in our new harness. Now you might get lucky if you've got super strong fingers and what have you. I, on the other hand, have piddly weak office hands, so if that's the case, I recommend getting yourself a couple of tools. Get yourself a long nose set of pliers and a big flathead. And what you want to do is just gently pinch the connector at the same time as pushing out and sort of levering out with your flathead. And if you do that right, you can sort of just wiggle it out and it will come off pretty straightforward, just like that. And once you've got your factory connector removed, it's a matter of looking at the DP chip connectors, finding the one that's identical, clipping that one in its place until it clips, and then with the extra pin there, it's a matter of connecting this guy into the factory harness. Then from there, it's a matter of a rinse and repeat. You want to do the same for injectors 2, 3, and 4. And there we go, all installed. It's really important, make sure that they are firmly clipped into place, and they will make that little click sound once they are. So you can see there's the first one. This one looks like it's a pain to get to from here, but actually from over the top here, I don't know if you can see that or not, but over the top you can easily get your hand in there and pull those out. There's the third one and our fourth. So the whole harness install is literally only a couple of minutes. It's really pretty straightforward. Then it's a matter of routing the actual harness itself. Use the zip ties that come with. I love a good kit with some zip ties. Good stuff, DP chip. And I'd be just following the existing loom. So there's a loom there, one of the factory looms there. Keep away from anything nice and warm. You don't want this sitting on any exhaust pipes or coolant pipes or anything like that. So just zip tie out of the way so it is sitting over there, and then get your DP chip module and attach it to the fuse box just with some double-sided tape. And once you're all bundled up here nice and neatly, you're zip tied out of the way for the harness so it's not touching on anything, plug your DP chip in, and then the last step is some power, is to just route this up and around. You've probably got a little bit of excess here. I'll just route that back out of the way, use the last 2 zip ties in your kit and connect it all up. And there you go, so it should look something like this. You may have a little less going on here. It's already starting to get a little bit messy. I really need to get that little plate made up to sit these kinds of things from the BCDC, the brake controller and that sort of stuff up out of the way. But there you go, nice and secure and locked into place. Next step then is to grab our engine cover and put him back into place. Just line him up and give it a good whack to secure it back into place. And there we go, all nice and factory installed and ready to test. Beautiful. So all installed, everything's working. From here, now that we've verified that everything starts, we've got no codes, everything is as it should, is take it for a test drive. So I've been cruising around for a little while now, and I gotta tell you, this has definitely sharpened everything up quite a bit. The DMAX was pretty good to start with, I think. Like it definitely wasn't a slouch, but it did feel lazy at times. And since I put the bigger tires on here as well, I put the 285 65 18s on the factory rim at the moment because I'm still trying to find the actual rim I want. I've just noticed it's made it feel a little bit lazier again. So I've just been cruising through a bit of a hilly area near where the VideoShowMeHow HQ is, and I've got to tell you, it just feels a whole lot snappier. So with those bigger tires, it definitely robbed some power, but I'm just noticing that this is well and truly bringing it back and giving it some extra beans to boost. So we're gonna give it a tap up this big hill here. And no worries at all. That's a bit of a monster local hill there. You can see that our temps and what have you haven't got out of control or anything like that. That was a solid boot up the hill. And I'm really interested just to see how all this goes from a temp perspective. Certainly from a drivability perspective, it is much improved. Like I said, it was no slouch, but it definitely felt lazy from factory. So this has definitely made it a whole lot sharper. So I've got a solid grin. I've got a solid grin going on. The seat of the pants dyno, the butt dyno is absolutely saying yes please. And I'm finding it just with little things, like normally if I give it a bit of a boot, even from something like that, normally it will absolutely sort of kick down and carry on a little bit. Whereas now it's the low down power is absolutely much more responsive. I can give it a little bit out of a corner and it's just straight on boost and away she goes. Much more responsive down low. So very interested to see what happens when we load up the camper trailer and start putting some weight on the back and see how she goes with a big load. So it's going to take a couple of weeks to get that video data ready to go for you guys and to put that together. So I'm going to be filming that over the following couple of weeks. Of course, if you're watching this video, it may be live. Check out the top corner here as usual. And once it does go live, I'll update this video with that link so that you can check out part 2 of this video and see what the DPChipX from Barrow and Diesel, what that is all about and what it's like in real life. Now that's it for another video. If you are keen to get yourself one of the DPChipXs as well, you just need to use this code here. Head on over to the Barrow and Diesel website, plug in said code, and you will receive the discount as part of being a VideoShowMeHow subscriber. And of course, check out all the other DMAX videos as part of the broader DMAX build. We're up to some crazy figure now, which is loads of fun. I'm enjoying doing them, and hopefully you're enjoying watching them. A big thank you to the VideoShowMeHow members, the members of the YouTube channel. Your extra support is absolutely awesome, and I truly appreciate it. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share the video with any of your mates across any of your socials who you think may also get some value out of this particular video. And as always, guys, I hope that you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.